Hello guys, welcome to my HMP Studio channel.
So sometimes in the list, we are using the list for every item, for every element, we are giving an action. So instead of writing for each item or do something, where we can directly call this for each map filter, this higher order function we directly call. So these functions take another function as an input and do the work. So the first one is of for each. The first one is of for each. So this will perform an action for each item. The function of this function is of it will perform an action for an each item. For every element, it will perform an action. So, like I will just given some one example. So I have one list. I have one list. I want to print all the elements in that list. I want to print all the names, all the elements. So in that situation, in that way, we are using that for each. For printing all the elements, I'm using the for each. You just think like I want to print it all the students' name. I can't every time using all the names. So just for that, we are using the for each for printing all the students' name in that list. Okay. So the function of the for each is it will perform an action for every element in that list. Understand, right? Sorry. So the next one is of map. So we are using this map for transform each item into the something new. For transforming the data, we are using the map function for transforming the data. So the example is like you can think like you have some numbers 1, 2, 3, and for those numbers I want the square roots. For those number 1, 2, 3, I want the square roots. So I can call this map function. So it will give the another one list. We are transforming the data for one list to another list. So it changes the data and giving the new list. The new list is of square roots. That's it. The next one is a filter. So we are using this filter function for selecting only the items that match a conditions. Only the items that will match and conditions. For like we are using this filter function for some selecting items. For selecting some items. So while we are like example is that of you can think of the number of students is there and their marks will be there. In that list, there are some marks. So I want the student's name only above 80. We can select the students who are getting an above 80. So we are selecting some items only. So in that way, in that situation, we are using this filter function. So the filter function is used for the selecting some items, selecting some elements. The next one is of group by. So we are using this group by function for grouping the similar items. Grouping the similar items. Okay, uh, Tejas, I can't share the screen because it's only in the LMS. If you want, I can share it. Just a second. The screen is visible, right? So why I am not sharing the screen is like I'm just telling the topics and some functions only. I'm not deeply telling you all the information about those topics. So that's why I'm not just sharing the screen. I'm simply saying from the what I am noting down. So this is a for each slide, and we completed the for each map filter and also the last group by. Until here, I will complete it already. So the next one is a fold. So the fold we are used this function for combining all the values into a single result. You can see in the picture also they are giving the same thing. Some list is there. We are using the fold function for combining all the values in a single result. In a single result. Sorry. So here we just adding all the numbers. 8 plus 6, 6 plus 7, 7 plus 5, plus 3, plus 0, and plus 9. So the total will be the 38 will be the result. Okay, so and later they will given some examples and also they are explaining uh, some others information about this fold function. So I am just telling that what is this fold and why we are using this one. The function of this fold. I'm simply telling the function of the fold, but in the code lab they are given all the information. So the last one, the seventh function is of sorted by. The seventh function is of sorted by. So we are using this function, the sorted by, so to sort elements based on some values. Based on some values. You can see in that you first thing in the screen they are given some numbers. They are given some numbers, but they are not in a arranged way. They are not in a arranged way. So we are using this sort to arrange in order. We are arranging it in order. 0, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay. Just give me a second. So the sort function is used for sort the elements by some values. So these are the seven higher order functions with the collection. So these functions are inbuilt in Kotlin. And this is the summary. So I will just simply tell you for all the function why we are using those things. For each function, we are using for that one for perform an action for every element. Map function to change the each item. The filter function for keep only some items. Group by grouping the similar items or elements. So fold function for combine all elements into one result. Sorted by is for using sorted items like sorted elements. Understand, right? These seven higher order functions. I'm asking you only, guys. Like no reactions. What should I understand? Oh, okay. So in the session 10, the first code lab is of higher order functions, and in the second code lab, they are giving one practice app, like a practice session, practice code lab. I will just show you what it is. So just a second. So the 10th second code lab is of practice. They are giving some tasks, like they are giving some code labs, codes and all, and they are giving some problematic questions. So you have to get a solution for that. I think they are given seven tasks. They are given seven tasks. So you have to do this by your own. This is the practice. So you have to complete all these seven tasks in the practice session. So the task for today is of you have to complete the 10th second code lab. Session 10 second code lab. The task, some task will be given. You have to get an output in the Kotlin playground. not in Android Studio. You have to do it in the Kotlin Playground. They are giving the link, and if you want, you can search it in the browser for a Kotlin Playground. You can open the link and get an output for those tasks. Okay. Okay. Without enroll to the bridge course, how can you until this session what you do? How you completed your tasks or the sessions? Rohit Kumar. Sure. If you are not enrolled, you just go on enroll for the Android app development first steps. How to enroll for the Android app development first steps. So there is no confusion in that session 10, right? You can do your task also. As you have to do it in the Kotlin playground until the session 10, you have to complete. The session 10 will be completed today, so you have to complete until session 10. And we can now in the meeting we can move on to the session 11. If it is completed, the session 11 is completed, uh, you can have to complete the session 11 also. But still, until here, you have to complete the session 10. We are not telling you to enroll for the internship. So you just go and enroll to the bridge course. In that only you can see the task and all. So the students have to enroll for the Android app development first steps, not using GenAI. In the internship program, you cannot see any task and all. Only in the Android app development first steps. In that program only you can see the task and all, and you have to complete it in that only, not in the using GenAI. In the bridge course only you have to complete. Understand, right? This one. I think I already told you to what program how to enroll and all. Till session 10. Today we are completing this session 10. Someone is asking for the way we can see the task and all. I think this is already was week 3 or something. Week 3 or week 4. In your profile, you can see the task. in the profile, you just go to your profile, and in the left side, you can see some options: home, your profile, and the task. In that also you can see the task, and also in the meeting, I am only giving the task to complete the sessions or practice code labs, or doing the building and apps. These are the tasks I am giving. So the next is of we can move on to the session 11. Okay, we just move on to the session 11. So in the session 11, you have to like adding a list to your app. I didn't show it in the Android Studio. I only show it in the LMS platform, in the code lab. I will just explaining the things by your own. You have to do that one by your own. You have to do that one. I'm just explaining the things. My screen is visible, right? Okay. So the session 11 is of add a scrollable list. Add a scrollable list. So in this code lab, we are going to add a list that is in the scrollable while using the Jetpack Compose. Using Jetpack Compose. For this code lab, you need to have an access for the GitHub. And one thing, you are all having the GitHub access, right? All are having the GitHub account and then access. Okay, then. So you are building this app. Like you can see, so in this list, the list is having a one image and a text. So the final output of this code lab is of like this. You can see in the screen the final output of this code lab. So for that, you have to access the GitHub. You can see what you will need access to the GitHub. They are only given. So the first thing you have to do, you can see one URL is here, right? URL is here. So you have to download this URL like the code, or if you just click on this, it will take you to the GitHub, and you have to download that folder. And in the Android Studio, you have to open that main activity. This is the starter code. You have to open the code in the Android Studio. First thing, you have to download this folder, and the folder will be downloaded in a zip file. This file will be in the zip file. You have to extract the files. After that, you can open it in the Android Studio. Okay. So the next is of first thing, you have to create one data class like in a list. list you have to create that too in the data class. So for that, while you are after you opening your code in the Android Studio, after you opening your code in the Android Studio, in the project view, in the Android Studio in the left of your side, that is a project view. In that project view, go to that Android view. Change that project view as an Android view. Change the project view as an Android view. After that, you can see in that Java, in the Java files, you have to create another one package. In the Java files, you have to create another one package and name it as a model. The package name is of model. Like it will be come as an com.example.affirmations.model. The package name will be like this. com.example.affirmation.model. You just go to that affirmation, the package name, right click, click on the new and click on the package. They are given the steps here and name it as a model. So that package name will be com.example.affirmations.model. This is your new package name. So in that new package name, go to and you just right click on that package, click on new, and then click on that Kotlin class array files. Kotlin class array files and name it as an affirmations. The name, the file name has an affirmations, and that too in the data classes. There are some options in that classes like class, file, or interface, enum class, data class. So you have to select the data class in the function file, and name the file name as an affirmation. So first thing you have to name the file name as an affirmation, and then it will be stored in the data class. It will be stored in the data class. So when you created that file, sorry guys, when you created the file, so the new screen, like affirmation.kt, the new screen will be open. As it is a main activity.kt will be there, right? One screen. So that affirmation.kt, other one file, new screen will be open. So in that, you are calling here in this project, like in this app, you are having to store that one is of text and another one is of image. We are only using the two things, text and an image. So they are calling like they are storing the string resources ID. String resources ID means of text and the image resources ID. This one is for image. First thing you have to, in the starting of the coding, how to create a package and have to create another new file in that package. After that only you can modify, alter your code. So here you have to store the text and then images in the scrollable way. You have to scroll. And this is a full coding. So after creating that affirmation.kt screen, after creating that screen, so you have to create another one screen that means of data source.kt. So for creating this data source, you have to create another one package like an affirmation.data. Before we are creating that model, so here we are creating the data. So this is of another one KT, like another one screen, the data source. So in that screen, we are adding an images. we are just adding the images, the list of images. We are adding the list, right? So the list of images we are adding in that file, in that screen, in the data source screen, we are adding the list of images. You can see the image one, two, three, having these things. The 10 images we are adding. So now until here we are having a three screens. One is of main activity, the another one is of affirmation.kt, and another one is of data source. We are having the three screens. And in the data source, we are adding like the images list. We are adding an images list. So after that, after creating all these things, next is of adding those list. We are creating the list of images, images. So we are how to add those lists into your app. Sorry. So for adding those lists in your app, in the main activity, we are calling the function. One is of affirmations app, and another one function is of affirmation card. You can see that there are two functions we are calling. In that main activity, we are calling the two functions. So before calling function, we have to add an annotations, add composable annotations. So why we are calling this affirmation card is a in the before only I tell you that we are adding to this app like images and a text. We are only adding the images and the text. So for adding an image and also the text, we are calling this affirmation card. So this card will contain both the image and the text. This card will contain both image and the text. So after that, they are giving some actually adding like altering steps, code altering steps in the main activity. So adding the modifier and some other information we have to add it. Some other informations we are adding here. And once check your import list also. After adding all these things, once check your import list. All the import list will be enable or not. And in the last, adding this preview. If you want your output to be seen in the preview part, you can add. So if you are not actually, you are running your app in the mobile, directly you are installing your app in your Android mobiles, it will not necessary for adding this preview part. But if you are running it in the emulator or in the preview part, you have to add this part. Add this at preview. If you are directly can install your app in the mobile, there is no necessary for this part. Otherwise, you have to add this. Here we are calling the function as a affirmation card preview. And after that, in the main activity, another one function, affirmation list. So in the card, we were only given only one image and one text. So for all the list, we are calling another one function, with affirmation list. So you just adding some informations about the list in that function, adding the modifier And here you can see we are calling that lazy column instead of column. We are calling this lazy column instead of column because in the column we can only add a single elements. We are not calling all the list. We can't call it in the column function. So that's why we are calling this lazy column. So in that list, calling this lazy column, adding this modifier, after that adding those items, the items in that list. And after that, you all know that this modifier and padding values, you can change the values also. You just change and try to get an output, how it is differ from this value to the different values. So after adding all these things, first thing you have to create your package, another one first package as a model, and creating a new file, affirmation KT. And after that, you have to create the another one package of data that for the data source KT. So there are three KTs: main activity, affirmation, and also the data source. In the data source, we are adding the list of images. After that, after adding all these things, to add a list to your app, you come to that main activity and have to call some functions, adding your details and add those lists. So after all editings, after all alternatives are modifying in that code, you have to run. And if when you run, the output will be seen like this. As it in the screen, the output will be seen like this. Here they are only seeing the three images. In that, you have to scroll. When you scroll down, all the 10 images and the text will be seen. All the 10 images and the text you have to see. So the next is of this is the solution code. You can directly download it in here also. Here also you have to download your code. This is a full code, but in the starting you are downloading only the starter code. Only the starter code you have downloaded. Here you have to download all the like full code, or you can see it in the GitHub also. They are giving the link. And after that, after adding all these things and get an output, this is a one code lab. So is there any doubts in that? You have to do by your own. Yes, it is necessary to have to open the project in the GitHub only. Without the starter code, you can't do this project. You have to take your starter code. After that, only you can do. So, is there any confusions in that code lab? Is there any confusions to do this in this code lab? If you are not giving any response to me, I think you are understanding. Okay. So as it is adding a scrollable list in that session 11, They are giving another one code lab for changing the app icons. Changing the app icons. So you are seeing these icons, right? Calendar, camera, Chrome, clock. So how to change these icons. So this code lab is about to changing these icons, app icons. So they are giving all the informations here how to change. The first thing is that first you have to launch your icons. First you have to import your icons to your Android Studio. You can see in the drawables, they're importing all the images here. And after that only, you have to adjust your icon layers and the width, height. So they just given all the steps here in this code lab to change your app icons. So for today's task, you have to complete the practice sessions that in the session 10, the practice session in the session 10, and in the session 11, you have to complete this scrollable list and also the change the app icon. So got it right, the today's task. Oh, okay. Actually, the platform is working correctly. I'm also using that one, right? The platform is working, right? Okay. Okay, then. Just complete until the session 11. Okay. So the today's task is for completing the session 11, and in the session 10, you have to complete the practice session. Don't bother about the dates and all. If it is working, if it is opening the sessions, it's fine. Don't bother about the dates and all. Okay. Okay, then we will wind up here. Thank you for joining. We will meet on tomorrow at sharp 11. And please tell your friends also to join at shop 11. Otherwise, I will not admit. Like so many of them are not joining these meetings. Okay. So thank you, one and all. Have a good day.